But at 3:47 a.m. on departure day, sitting in the room I grew up in, I just wanted my mummy. I had rehearsed this moment 100 times. In my head, I was always smiling. I was always ready.
Have you packed your?
Yes, Mama.
Your documents are in?
The blue folder inside the carry-on.
Yes. Call me when you land.
I will.
Call me the moment, Mama.
I'll call you.
Why is everyone weeping? It's an airport, not a burial.
It kind of is. We're burying one life to go find another.
That was very deep for 6 a.m.
I thought about everything I was leaving behind.
The morning of the flight, I woke up at 3 a.m. Not because of an alarm, not because of excitement. My body it knew. Like it had been counting down to this moment for 4 years and refused to let me sleep through a single second of it. I sat on the edge of my bed in the dark. Just sat there. 2 suitcases by the door. The room completely bare. Every poster I had taken down. Every memory I had packed away or left behind. The only thing still on my dresser was a photo of me and my mother, and I just stared at it. This was the moment I had prayed for, hustled for, cried for on so many nights I stopped counting. And now that it was finally here, I was terrified. I had rehearsed this moment 100 times in my head. In every version, I was smiling. I was confident. I was the girl who had made it. Passport in hand, visa stamped, the whole world opening up like a door someone had finally decided to unlock for me. But at 3:47 a.m., sitting in the room I had slept in since I was 7 years old, surrounded by the silence of a house that was about to lose its daughter, I just wanted my mommy. I wanted her to come in and sit beside me the way she used to when I had nightmares as a child, to rub my back and tell me that everything would be okay, that God was watching, that morning was coming. Instead, I sat alone in the dark and I prayed that I was making the right choice. My mother was awake before me. Of course she was. She had laid out my clothes, checked my bag for the 3rd time, made akamu, my favorite, even though it was 4 a.m. and neither of us had an appetite. When the taxi arrived, she walked me to the gate, and she did something so small, so quiet that it broke me completely. She reached up and tightened my headscarf, just slightly, the way she had done since I was a little girl, smoothing it down with both palms and held my face for a moment. Neither of us could speak. We had said everything that needed to be said in the weeks before. All the instructions, all the warnings, all the prayers she had pressed into my palms like folded currency. But standing at that gate in the grey light of early morning, with the taxi engine running and the whole world waiting, none of those words were enough, because this was the real goodbye, the one that changes the shape of a family forever. My mother did not cry until I turned away. I know this because I turned back once, just once, and I saw her shoulders shaking. I kept walking, because if I had gone back, I would never have left. Murtala Mohammed International Airport at 5 a.m. is its own kind of beautiful chaos. Families crying, children running, men in Agbada wrestling oversized Ghana must-go bags onto trolleys that were clearly not designed for them. A woman near Gate 7 was wailing so dramatically, her whole church had gathered around her. Brenda elbowed me and said, "Is she okay, or is that a performance?" I said, "Probably both. This is Nigeria." The 3 of us walked through that departure hall like we owned it, or at least like we desperately wanted to look like we did. Inside, we were terrified children. Outside, we were the Japa generation. We had earned these tickets, and we held each other's arms without saying why, because we all knew whatever happened beyond those departure gates, nothing would ever be quite the same again. Not the friendship, not ourselves, not the way home would feel when we eventually looked back at it. But we had made a pact. Same flight, same dream, same destination. And a pact is a pact. Somewhere over the Sahara, at 37,000 feet, most of the cabin fell asleep. The lights dimmed to blue. The hum of the engines became a kind of white noise. Brenda was already asleep before the seatbelt sign went off. Mouth slightly open, bonnet at a worrying angle. Kunle was watching a Nollywood movie with headphones in, hiding his emotions behind someone else's drama. But I couldn't sleep. I pressed my face against the cold window and watched the dark below. Clouds lit from underneath by distant lightning. No cities, no roads. Just the enormous quiet of a world that didn't know my name and didn't care where I was going. And I thought about everything I was leaving behind. The sound of Lagos at night, generators, and the distant bass of someone's bonaboy. The smell of my mother's kitchen at 7 a.m. The heat that I had complained about every single day of my life, and would now, I was certain, miss like a missing tooth. I thought about who I was on the ground back there. The girl who knew every corner of her street, who knew which buka had the best egusi, who knew the exact way the light fell through the louvers in the afternoon and turned the floor gold. That girl was still down there somewhere. At 37,000 feet, I was becoming someone new, and I was not sure yet if I was ready to meet her. Toronto hit me like a slap from a stranger. The cold. Nobody, and I mean nobody, had adequately prepared me for what it feels like to walk out of an airport in February in Canada when you have spent your entire life in Lagos. It was like stepping into a freezer that had been running for 6 months. The air attacked my skin. My lungs seized up. My eyes watered instantly from the cold, not the emotions. I need you to understand that. From the cold. I stood on that pavement wrapped in a light jacket that had no business being called a jacket in this weather, and I looked up at the grey-white sky, so different from the burning blue I had left behind, and I laughed. I laughed because I didn't know what else to do. I had dreamed about this moment for 4 years. 4 years of rejections and sacrifice, and my mother's wedding fund, and Kunle's Zobo business, and Brenda filming her TikToks in a hot salon just to buy her way out of a country that was running out of reasons to stay. 4 years for this one moment, standing on cold concrete in a cold country, shivering in the wrong jacket. Episode 3. The flight had landed, but the journey, the real journey, was only just beginning.